Hey guys, so welcome. We are sitting here. Chris Hill stopped by, just going down the road. He gave me a call. I figured a great time. Pop in. We'll just do some videos.
We'll just talk about anything.
So Chris Hill, friend of mine, real estate agent, actually on president-elect.
That's right.
For MAR.
For Maryland Association of Realtors. Yep.
So he's got some great information. Actually, I thought we might just want to share it. You know, we're talking about, I get a lot of calls and everybody's worried about the market, where it's going to go. No one wants to buy. They're scared to death. Houses, it's going to crash, or the market's going to go crazy again with prices. What's the take? What are you guys seeing?
I think everybody here locally sees like that. We still have an inventory issue, right? So like I think if we start with that, like the first thing is like, this past week I was in Annapolis for Maryland Realtors Lobby Day. That's where we go and petition the state legislators for all the bills that we have. And honestly, there weren't a ton of challenges this year, but one of the things I pointed out, there was some really good information that came out. So this year, Maryland Realtors and the National Association did a survey of Maryland registered voters.
Okay.
And asked them a bunch of questions about housing, right? The first thing we found out, number one, and actually this is just part of the study, is there were 120,000 units short in the state of Maryland.
In just this state?
In the state of Maryland. Now, what's fascinating about that is they did this survey 2 years ago, and it was only 80,000.
Okay.
So right away, we got a problem with the amount of houses we have, right? Not to mention the fact that I mentioned this to you earlier, right? Like, in 2020, 57% of the people surveyed said that the prices were too high. Today, it's 76%.
And that's a lot of it. Inflation. They're worried about their money. Their money's not going as far as it used to. So,
honestly, Darren, you know that over the last few years, we had some record price increases for things that happened. So, I mean, that's definitely something that happened. But I think we have to start with the house. Like, we have an availability problem, right? Like, the buyers that I have, and they're struggling to find the right house for themselves.
Sure.
And when they do come up, they still do. I say good houses go quickly, right?
So we try to stay in touch with all our buyers that we've qualified, gotten docs, gone over numbers. Yeah. Updates weekly, bi-weekly, whatever it may be, of hey, how's it going? Are you finding anything? Do you need help with anything? You guys looking this weekend? Majority of them are the same response.
Yeah.
No, nothing new. Still looking. Nothing new out there for us to go see.
I mean, I just think we're going to have. Inflation. I mean, you and I talked about this too, about the rate situation. Obviously, it's different than it was a couple of years ago, right? And it does affect our marketplace in some way, shape, or form. But it's not the driving force, right? Like, to be real, people still need to be able to buy a house, and it's just going to cost you a little bit more now. And you guys have some great programs that are available which really makes it convenient, make it work. But I mean, I just think housing affordability is just a problem in general right now. And what's first time home buyers can't, there's an affordability problem as well.
Oh, I know.
Right?
Well, and you're talking about people who've never done a budget before.
Well, that's true.
Now all of a sudden they're buying a house. A lot of them may be coming from living at home.
Yeah.
So they're not used to paying their own bills.
That's true.
And it's sticker shock.
No, I really think you're right.
Because they go out first, they're like, well, I'm just going to rent. And the rents are so high. Right. So they go, well, let me see what I can, because there's some great programs, 100% financing.
Yeah, absolutely.
First-time homebuyer programs through the state of Maryland with grants and money.
Yeah.
They can get into a house. The problem is that number's not much better. It used to be a big difference.
Right. No, you're right. And actually, that's a really good point. Is like that rent versus own number. Right. It's still there. Right. Yep. Let's be real. It's it's still better to buy a house, right? But that number has gotten closer and closer recently, I think. I mean,
and it's that small. We're talking about the first-time home buyers.
First-time home buyers,
and for those who own a house, have money, they're buying second homes. They're going out and upgrading and buying a bigger house if they need to. But that niche, which we do a lot down here, a lot of first-time home buyers.
What's funny is we didn't the whole point of this conversation was going to be talking about what's the market going to do, and I don't think anybody really knows, but I mean everything points at a little bit more of a flattening, not in a bad way, right? Incomes rising this year, and rates leveling
falling,
a little bit, right? So I mean, maybe we actually will, all the economic indicators say that I've read, they're still talking about a solid year, right? Like nothing over the top,
Right.
nothing crazy, which honestly a few years ago would have been the norm, right?
Sure.
Now I think what we've been through has just kind of changed it up a little bit. I mean, that's my opinion anyway.